Hola, buenas noches a todos. Good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to En Casa con la Plaza. My name is Abelardo de la Peña Jr. I'm the Director of Marketing and Communications here at La Plaza de Cultura y Artes. En Casa con la Plaza is our virtual programming. We've been at it since April of 22 during the lockdown. We've been open now for a little while, but we still continue these wonderful sessions from our home to yours. Presentations, demonstrations, conversations, and performances. If you're on Zoom, welcome all of you on Zoom. You could use the chat feature to ask questions, or the Q&A if you'd like. Let us know where you're viewing from. If you're on Facebook, use the comment section to do the same. Ask questions, make comments, do shout outs. We'd love to hear from you. And I see for some reason, I'm actually seeing what I'm saying on the screen here. Anyway, we would like to thank our sponsors, CVS Health, Aetna, and Union Pacific Foundation, as well as California Humanities and the National Endowment for the Humanities as part of the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, along with the Institute of Museum and Library Services, advancing, supporting, and empowering America's museums, libraries, and related organizations. Before we bring on the host of our holiday happy hour, just want to let you know, of course, La Plaza is open every day except Tuesday from noon to 5 p.m. La Tienda gift store is also open for your Christmas shopping. All of our exhibits are open. LA starts here, Calle Principal, which is all decorated for the holidays. Carlos Almaraz, Evolution of Form, which is going away in January, so you better make it soon before it leaves our walls. And our recently opened Patriotism and Conflict. And our most recent installation, Frank Romero's Going to the 1984 Olympics. A painting which pretty much follows the mural which he painted here on the 10 freeway for the 84 Olympics. With that, let's bring on our host of the holiday, special holiday happy hour, Dan Guerrero. Please join us, Dan.
Hey, happy holidays. Look, no martini. I have a Cosmo to be in a festive mood. And a Cosmo puts me in a very festive mood, by the way.
I'm sure it does. I'll have mine after the show. I got to work.
Where's your holiday cheer? It looks like you're zooming in from San Quentin, for God's sake.
Well, you know, it's here. Usually I have it at my home. As you know, this is En Casa con la Plaza, but we recently moved from one place to another, and there's still boxes all surrounding me. So this is a little slightly more festive than that.
You couldn't put a twig of holly in your hat, something? You're like the Christmas curmudgeon.
Yeah, a Grinch. Yeah, just but catch me after the show. I'll be a lot more happy.
Okay, it sounds like a good idea. I'm noticing, because I can see myself, the lighting is very soft and very holidayish, but I can't see the ojito there to look, and I can't read my notes. So, and with 3 guests, I mean, we've had 2, we've had guests with a cameo appearance from someone else, but 3. So this is going to be very interesting. We'll see how it goes.
We'll see it. I'm sure it's going to be a great one, Dan.
I know it is, because all these ladies there, each of them is a star in their own right. And so we have the whole galaxy here tonight. So why don't you go and look for some mistletoe, and then you come back when you're looking a little more festive, okay?
Most important, somebody under the mistletoe besides me.
Okay, that's right. All right, that sounds good. Okay, so thanks for zooming in for and Facebooking in for our special holiday happy hour today, or tonight, I should say. So picture this: 3 women, a Mexican-American, a Cuban-American, a Mexican-Lithuanian-American, all gathered around a Christmas tree. And there's presents and singing and dancing and well, a little fighting and making up and tequila, plenty of tequila. There you go. Why, it looks like a Latina Christmas special, and it is. Zooming in direct from their sold out performances earlier this week at that wonderful Noise Within Theater in Pasadena. Zoom in, Diana Yanez, Maria Russell, and Sandra Valls. There you are, hey, 1, 2, and 3.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, this is so festive. It's already festive. Why? And Maria's done up like a Christmas present. Is that right, Maria?
Yes, just for you, Dan.
Thank you.
All right.
That's our Mexican Lithuanian American. And Diana, you look lovely. You got a nice little tree back there. And I recognize that book. Free
Yes.
plug.
It's a favorite, holiday favorite.
It is a good one on Amazon. Lyrics by Lalo Guerrero and illustrations by Bob Mackey. How bad
You
can
need
it
to
be?
sign it.
I will. And Sandra,
Hi, everyone.
your place looks beautiful.
I
Did you love
know.
Yeah, I love how the fire is frozen.
That's what gives it away. That's what gives you're zooming in from New York, right?
Yes, I'm in New York in an Airbnb, and yeah.
And it's better not to show
Just
it.
let it be that way.
I understand. And Diana, where are you zooming in from? Are you here in LA?
I am in LA at the moment. I've been living most of the time in New York, but I still have my apartment here, thank God, and it's rent control, so I will never be able to move out of here.
No.
But it's a great place, and I'm very comfortable here. I have great neighbors and great friends, so it's wonderful.
Good neighbors are important. You're in LA too, right, Maria?
Yes, I'm in Studio City in the Valley.
In front of
I
a
love
shower
Studio
curtain.
City.
I'm loving your
Yes.
shower curtain, Maria.
It's 818.
My shower
818.
It's not a shower curtain.
A shower
It's velvet. Thank you very much. Curtains.
For the shower.
Is your hair matching? You know what? Your hair is so beautiful, Maria. It reminds me of the Cowardly Lion. You know how remember when they dressed him
I
up?
love the Cowardly Lion.
Well, we all do.
Wait,
We all do.
but Diana, which one are you? The Tin Man or the?
I'm
She's
all
saying
of
'cause
them,
you don't-
baby. I'm Victor
Okay.
Fleming, the director.
Because you don't have a heart, she said. I'm just kidding. Yes, you do. No, she does. She
No.
Okay,
has
I
the
can
biggest
see-
heart.
Not worried.
The Tin Man doesn't have a heart.
Yes.
Maria, you gotta watch it again.
Yes, that's what I said. You said that she was the Tin Man.
No, I said no.
You know, ladies, thank you for joining us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a marvelous time with these three ladies. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to get a chair and a whip, and then we're going to start this little chit chat. And in the beginning, let's still stay together. And
Maria
let's
really
talk.
likes chairs and whips. How did you know?
Wait, no, you're going somewhere else with that. I know you are, pero this is a family program.
Well,
Yeah,
you said
it's
chairs and
Miss-
whips.
Yes, Sandra. Bye. Then you should
Well,
never have
family
had her on in the
program,
first
but we're
place, Dan.
drinking.
Oh my
We're
God.
drinking in a happy hour.
I knew this was going to be scary. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk a little bit about the show, and we're all going to be together, and I'm going to ask specific questions of a specific person. And then we're going to go into little personal segments, and I'll speak to Diana solita, Sandra, and Maria. So let's start, and let's start with Diana, who is the creator of Latina Christmas Special and co-writer, and of course, one of the three stars. So first of all, let us know when you began it and how you came up to the idea and why you felt it was important to create a show like this. It's a musical play, really, is what it is. Tell us.
Well, I had done a one-woman show, my first one-woman show. I mean, let me see if I can start a little differently. I started doing stand-up, and I heard a couple times doing stand-up very clearly. I remember at the Duplex, and once it was in front of Sandra at, what was the name of that place, Sandra? I think it was like we were doing a charity event. I was doing
With the
stand-up.
LGBT theater?
Yeah, no, it was a different one. I think it was one that Jenny McNulty put together. But regardless, someone told me, your comedy sounds like one-person show material, and I love one-person shows. I mean, Whoopi Goldberg, John Leguizamo. These are like my heroes. So
Mine
I thought,
too.
you know what?
Mine too. Mine too.
Yeah. So coincidentally, both those times, and one of the times Sandra was the one who told me you should do, I think I'm going too far back, but she said you should do a one-person show. Well, I wrote a one-person show. I'm going to fast forward. It did very well. I won the New York Fringe Festival, International Fringe Festival, and I toured it. But one thing that I noticed was I was very, very lonely. And my story was about being Cuban American. and about being American, but also being the child of immigrants. So I wanted to do something in the same vein, but I wanted to do something different, and I didn't want to be alone anymore. So I thought about how one-person shows, it's a lot for one person to be on for an hour, hour and a half. So I thought, what if we did a show where there were multiple people? And I wanted to hear a woman's story. I wanted to hear women's story. And I thought, oh, I'll just do Christmas, because then that way it doesn't take over my whole life. Little did I know that I was giving away Christmas forever. Now every Christmas is a working holiday. But I thought about who I could put in the show, and Maria and Sandra hadn't met before, but they were my first choices. Maria, I had done comedy with her in a sketch comedy troupe. And I had just recently seen her try stand-up. And Sandra, I've known for years and years and years doing stand-up. And both of them had something more than just comedy. They had something deeper, something more interesting. So I asked both of them if they would do it with me. And neither one of them had done something like this. And I said, don't worry, we're gonna figure this out. We're gonna work it through. Sandra had just broken up, so she was really depressed. And she said, I don't know.
Sandra is always breaking up. But let me ask you, I want to
Go ahead.
Move here a little bit, because the Christmas special, and one of the questions was how the casting process, etc. But obviously there was no casting process, because you kind of already knew the two ladies you wanted. But my question is, it sounds like you hadn't even written it yet. So
No.
Did you all write it together? It was just you had the concept and you wrote it together. Is that what happened?
Yeah, I had the concept, and then I asked each person, and I do want to tell a little story about the casting. When I asked Maria, she said, no way. She said, I'm very grateful. Thank you for being so sweet, but I'm scared to death to do something like this where it's personal.
To be myself, my own story.
Yourself.
I'm used to hiding behind characters. It was very, I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
at
like,
first she put on a
I
weird
thank you, but I
voice.
can't. I can't.
So
It
yeah,
is.
so,
It is. We have a photo here of the three of you. Can we show that, Abelardo?
of course.
So and as I see, Maria is so excited to be a part of this show. So it is a very different thing. No question. When you're, as you say, Maria, being a character is one thing, like Lieutenant Salazar. We'll get to that later, and we'll get to Evolución later as well in your segment, Diana.
Mhm.
But it is a different animal. It is a different animal. But okay, so the good news is you all agreed and you did it.
We all agreed to do it. We all brought in monologues, and we just worked on the stories. I mean, Sandra's came out pretty good right off the bat, but both Maria and I struggled at first, and we tried different things, but I had already written a one-person show, so I knew kind of how one does it. And this is my advice to anyone who wants to write a one-person show. Think of the stories that you've told over and over again at
Exactly.
dinner parties, at that family say, oh, tell that story again. That's so funny, that story. Start there, because those are the stories people want to hear. And if you tell it with, it's your personal experience, but everyone can relate because it's real. And that's what's exciting about one-person shows, is the reality of it, that little cut of human life, of what it is to be human as me, but you'll understand because you can relate. I think it's really cool.
That's exactly right. I mean, because I did a solo show, and that's what I did. There were stories, but therein lies the rub, because you've got to have those stories work to tell the bigger story,
Right.
and to have a focus. You can, and I've seen solo shows that are a bunch of stories mean nothing. I mean, it's got to go somewhere.
Yes.
It's got to make a point, and what is the point you want to make? So
Right.
therein is the complexities of it. But that being said,
That's the challenge and the joy of it too, because it reveals itself. It always reveals itself.
Yes.
It always
does.
says, this is my message. And then you go, oh, it's exciting.
Now, each of you has such a different background. Mexican-American, Sandra, Cuban-American, Diana, and Maria, God knows, She's got a splash of Lithuanian and Mexican, no sé qué. So that was the most, I would imagine, unique. So did you blend your stories and intertwine? I mean, you must have had, Maria, at the Lithuanian part, there must have been different traditions. Did you weave that into the show at all?
Well, and I always thought about it because people are like, Litha, what? Some people don't even know where that is.
Right.
But my father, he's second generation American, but yet there are so many Lithuanian traditions. But once he left Pennsylvania and his grandmother, he really didn't speak it anymore. The traditions were gone, which is very sad. It's very sad, actually. But there was, there's songs that he still could remember. Like he'll say it and I go, oh, Danny, you're so cute. Like little Christmas, holiday songs. But it was mostly the Mexican, Mexican holidays that were really dominated. And Daddy had to go, a huevo.
Now, I saw the show way back, I don't know, I think in before the pandemic, clearly at LATC. And not surprisingly at LATC and in downtown LA, it was primarily a Latino audience. And clearly the show appeals to a Latino audience in particular, but the themes, of course, are universal. But it's still tricky to get non-Latinos to go to theater sometimes if the word Latino or Latina or Latin is in the title. Mm-hmm. Do you get diverse audiences or do you get pretty much Latino audiences?
I would say there's a big diverse Latinos.
Well, let's Diana, you start.
I'm sorry. I would say there's a big percentage of Latino Americans or people married to Latinos or dating Latinos. But and when I say Latinos, when we're in LA, it's mostly Mexican American, right. And when we're in New York, it's mostly Puerto Rican and Dominican. So it really depends on the location. But yes, they're attracted to it, and I would think that it's because there's nothing out there that's a Christmas thing that's about our culture. Now that said, we do have great fans that come from all walks of life: Jewish Americans. White Americans, Chinese Americans. I just had a Chinese American person who saw the show tell me, oh my God, that was so crazy. It was like the Chinese Christmas special.
Sure.
Like, he was blown away at he goes, your intensity, your family's intensity, that's my family's intensity, just a different language. So yeah, I think it's universal. And the more we get people to see it, the better it'll be. It'll teach them about how we are just the same, but different.
Sandra, did you find the Latinos, being Puerto Ricanos, Dominicanos in New York, they had a different Latino experience? This does skew, it seems a little more Mexican. Did you find the response very different or the audience very different?
I thought they laughed just as hard as other Latinos. Their response, well, they did talk back and forth to us a lot. So, like, for the Puerto Rican crowd, just decided to be a part of the show. So it was very like they were in it, and so we had to talk back. So, and it was very entertaining. But Latinos are Latinos, and I think if we talk about certain foods or certain things or certain words that are like different, and we kind of, not to give some jokes away, but we did include all sorts of Latinos, because there's, of course there's like, Puerto Rican, Dominican, Colombian, Mexican, Salvadorian, it goes on and on. And like Diana said, it's universal. Laughter is universal. The beautiful thing about a Latino audience, or people of color, I should say, is that we just laugh out loud. We don't ask permission to laugh. We just laugh.
Do everything out loud.
We do everything out loud. We laugh. We don't have, when we have a mainly white audience, we have to kind of say it's okay to laugh. Like, we have to kind of give them permission, like it's all right. They're very polite. They're very.
Maria, did you find, because you don't, being a Christmas show, it's not like you do a run and you're performing it all year, all the time. So I'm sure there are big gaps in between you're performing it and you're doing your own things. You're doing TV shows, you're doing stand-up, you're all working your individual careers. But toward that end, because I experienced that with my show, because I only did one every few months, sometimes 3 times a year, because I had other things. And as a result, it never froze. Every time I did the show, oh, this is better. Oh, why this should work. Did your show, has it changed and evolved and gotten tighter, gotten
Oh, absolutely. I think we tweak it, and we're like, oh, let's, even this run, we've added little things that that have absolutely, worked, and we get to test it out, and I think that's the beauty of our show is that, but what we have is so magical between the 3 of us that we really don't have to change much because it works and people respond to it. And I just have to say, our 2 shows that we had at A Noise Within Theater, it holds 325 people. It was raining. It is COVID. You must be vaccinated. You had to wear a mask. And both nights were almost completely sold out, and with spaces in between people if they're requested. So that just shows how much people are like craving something like our show, because there's nothing like it. There is nothing like it. And it's the beauty of our show too, is that we spew love and truth, and people can relate. I mean, I think that's every time after every show, they're like, oh, at least 10 people will say, oh, I identified with you, with Sandra, with Diana, like little bits here and there. And that's the beauty of our show. And I think it's very magical.
But I do, going back to the question that you asked, people also say, oh my God, it gets better and better and better and better. Because for me as a comic, I may not change big chunks of it, but I might change the word like, and also, or
yes,
I did, however, or I did, however, no, I also, or I'll change a delivery that I'm like, I think it works best this way. Because as you keep doing it, I love to tweak a few words, and maybe to the regular people, one word doesn't matter, but it does matter to me. It matters a lot, or the order of things. And so, but we also ask each other, like, how should I say it? Or how does this sound better? Or do I even need like, I please before it? Let me see. What's the rhythm? Let me hear the rhythm of it. And
it's all about rhythm.
It's all about rhythm. And so if I add like a line and then I go Maria, and I'm like, Maria kind of broke the rhythm of that line, or add it to it, I'm going to say it. And so, yes, to answer your question, we do tweak. I do tweak rhythms and things, and work with different things. And Diana just added, and changed her thing around. She's still working on it, actually.
Well, no, actually, I was very happy with it this time. But I have to say also in answering that question, Dan, because I think it's important that people know, we were given, the more we figure out what's funny and what works, the longer the show gets. So at one point, we had to go to, when we went to New York, we had to be strictly contained by a time limit. So we, it was like killing our babies. So many funny things. I don't know which show you saw. You may have seen the show where we gave each other ornaments, homemade ornaments. We don't do that anymore. That's out of the show. We took out things that were, there's so much funny. Anything that was at 90% funny was taken out to make space for the stuff that we thought was really important. And I feel more than ever, the message, the morals of the stories have been emphasized, so that it's not just comedy, it's deeper than that. It's poignant.
And it becomes focused. And Sandra, exactly what you're saying, when I was tweaking the crap out of my show, it was a word, it was a sentence, it was flipping 2 paragraphs. I never cut scenes or wrote new scenes. It is tweaking. And I always thought, it's like a painter. When does he know a painting is finished? Oh, this could be a little more blue, or this cloud could be bigger. You could, when my show froze, when I filmed it, that's when it got frozen. And you guys are streaming it, isn't it coming? We have a graphic here. Tell us, anybody about, tell us about is it already filmed, or what's the story here?
Well, we filmed it last year. Sorry, not last year. That was pandemic year. The year before the pandemic, we did one show only at A Noise Within because we were doing an off-Broadway run. And it was the shorter version of the show where we had just recut everything. Anyway, a friend of mine filmed it for me and he did a really good job. There's a close-up camera. There's a distance camera. One of the many things I do is I edit, I put it together. And so we've had this for a little while as an example when an artistic director wants to see the show. And since we could only do 2 shows this year, part of the reason is the pandemic, is that you book your Christmas shows in February,
Sure.
March, and we were in the middle of a pandemic, so nobody was booking. So, you know, we have to wait till next year to really, really do a longer tour. So we did these 2 shows and we said, well, we've got this streaming, this video that's pretty good. I mean, it's not, you know, HBO level, but it's very nice. And it'll show people 2019's version of the show.
Yeah.
And and it's going to be available for streaming. The money that if you decide to rent it, we have discounts as well. We put a price on there because we were forced to by the platform. So we put $15 per rental. You can watch it with as many of your friends as you want. But if you scroll down, we say there's coupons to get it for less. The reason being, it's Christmas. We're only doing this so we can raise money to pay for the cost of our website and stuff.
For
like
Maria's
that.
hat.
For Maria's hats and for the defleeing of our wardrobes. But that's the purpose.
Let's be honest. We're doing this to raise money for the show because when we go to New York, it's expensive. And
That's
we
true
are,
as well,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm going to be honest. I mean, you can be like, oh, we just look up a little money. Yes, thank you. We're very grateful for everything. But, you know, when we go to New York or when we go take it on tour, there's a lot of expenses unless we get a tequila sponsor, which would be great. Anyone know?
No tequila sponsors.
They're out there. And you could also do a crowdfunding campaign. That's how I filmed mine.
Wonderful. Well, you know, again,
talk to you after this.
What?
We'll have to talk to you after the Zoom how to do that. That'll be awesome.
It was a nightmare, but I raised in I think it was 5 weeks, and we filmed it. I mean, 5 camera shoot.
Wow.
You know, 5 camera shoot. I was able to do a Spanish language subtitle version, a featurette, a trailer. So you got to buy.
That sounds like a lot of work. I know how much
it
work
was
that is.
a
lot of work.
lot of work. And let me tell you, my social media
But
guru,
he didn't do it.
huh?
He didn't do all that work.
Oh, it's still his work. Yeah.
It's still
but-
my work.
Yes,
Meaning,
but you raise
let
money
me
to
finish,
pay
let
people.
me finish. You said you wanted to know.
I do.
Then be quiet. No, you can't do it alone. It is, Sandra, it is, I hope to never do it again. It was so much work. I had 2, Tony Estrada, my web guy, and Sammy Lopez, who was doing social media at the Music Center, did all the thing. And I had a GoFundMe. Oh, what the hell was they called? They were a wonderful company. And they gave us some guidance, but the 3 of us, it was like a full-time job, daily graphics and daily phones and let people know and spreadsheets, things that I know nothing about. I never could have done it without those people, but it can be done. And there's 3 of you. So you've got 3 different fan bases. So anyway, never mind that. Before and scene. Before we go into individual segments, we have a photo that I just love here. Can we see this next photo, Abelardo? Oh, Abelardo. Not that one. Was that the next one? Okay. I didn't know. Sorry, did I miss one?
Cucaracha.
Give me the one after the cucaracha. You're right, Abelardo. That was my fault. Now give me the next one. He just moved. He's looking for the spatula. Abelardo, are you there? Oh, that's the one I want. Okay, now hold that for a while. Now I'm guessing, well, that's the Lithuanian on the far left, right?
Yeah, she's in the mountains.
Yeah, and that's Diana in the middle.
Yeah.
And that is Sandra in the Santa outfit.
Yes, I wanted the Santa outfit, the angry Santa.
So I want to hear from each of you. Let's start with Maria. Mija, give us an early Christmas happy memory, a really good one, not when you didn't get what you wanted, but a really good Christmas memory.
God, I have so many.
Pick one.
I know. I'm like, boy. I think honestly, I think one of the best ones is that, you know, my mom doesn't have the best memories of Mexico because she grew up really poor, but we went, it was the one time that we went as a family to my mom's town in Michoacan, where she was, you know, born. And I got to meet all these different family members that I never even knew that existed. So it was things that, you know, I'm raised here in California. So to go there, to go to La Plaza, to go to like my aunt's little, you know, store, to go see the pigs in the farm. It was just so eye-opening. And it was like a completely, obviously different world for me. But I got to experience like a completely different kind of Christmas, like a real Feliz Navidad, like a native, you know, so it was really, that's always stayed with me, you know, so.
I love
yeah.
that. That's a good memory. And that's your gift was a family. I mean, a family you didn't know before. That's better than a bicycle.
Yes, I know. And really just, I got to meet like a complete, like hordes of them.
Yeah, there's lots of Mexicans down there. A lot of Mexicans down there. I like that memory.
Yeah.
I like that memory.
Yeah.
How old were you about? What were you?
I was 8. I was 8 years old. So it was, memory. And I got, it was really special because it was, you know, I got to really be there and I'm bilingual, but really that was where it really stuck with me because I was forced to speak Spanish because they didn't speak English. Yeah. So it was like it's on so many levels. It was very special and very memorable, and it stays with me forever. So.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Okay, Diana, you're next. That was a good one. What you got?
Well, it used to be in the show, but now it was one of the parts we cut. But when I was a little girl, my parents were they were Cuban refugees, so they came with nothing but the clothes on their backs, and very luckily they had help from other people, but it was a struggle. But the earliest Christmas I remember, one of the things that was, I mean, I have to say that the magic of Santa Claus was the absolute best part. You know, just that there was this person who cared, who was magical, that never grew old, that always took care of us and such. And so I think my parents, in order to keep that magic alive for me, when I remember Christmas, and I can't quite remember how old I was, I'm going to say maybe 5 or 6 years old. My parents we had a small apartment, a small Christmas tree, and my parents had wrapped so many things that weren't really Christmas gifts. They were just things for me to open and to look at and to wonder. So when I got a pair of, you know, scissors, you know, or like some bananas, you know, I thought, wow, these are bananas that Santa brought me from the North Pole. So the magic was what made it so special. It was all these small little gifts, you know, the things you get at the drugstore, those small little like jacks, you know, remember the ball with the jacks, you know, that, and little plastic things that you could, you know, move the little ball in, you know, those faces or those mazes and things like that. And everything was individually wrapped. And I just remember that sort of shiny feeling of the glow of magic. And that's what stays with me.
That's a good one too. Sandra, you're gonna have to really come up with some.
I don't have any Christmas memory. Just kidding. I have a lot. I'm like Maria. It's a lot, and they're funny and they're whatever. I did love, however, the leading up to Christmas when we would get that catalog.
Oh,
the Christmas catalog. And it was like close, and then in the back it had like the toys, and my sister and I were like, "Well, me, not me," we wanted to see, and we would circle the things we wanted, like, of course she wanted all the girly things, and I wanted all the GI Joe things and whatever. And then there were certain things I remember that I was like, I would tell her, "No, but that's too expensive. Santa has to give too many gifts, and we don't want to give," because some things are like super expensive, like a guitar or whatever it was. Like, to me it was like $1 million when I was a kid, but anyway, we would circle. But and then Santa would leave like the stockings, but the old stockings that looked like a net with like candy inside, the kind you buy at Woolworth.
Oh yeah, I
And
remember
they were all
those.
sticky, and they were like see-through. They looked
Yeah,
like fishing nets, like, well, not fishing
Oh,
nets,
yes, I love those.
I
those
forgot
those
about
red ones,
those.
right? So Santa would leave those by our bed, my sister and I, and then we would go and do the presents. But Santa would also leave gifts at my tia's house, who also raised me, who lived catty corner, may she rest in peace, to us. So I had like basically two moms. Santa gave me so many gifts over there also, and also at my mom's house. Not my sister, not my brother. I would go and get Christmas over there also. So, and of course, it was a time to see all my cousins from Mexico. We were the hub of Christmas. We were like, our house was like music and food and everything. And everybody would come, and we would do firecrackers. Remember when it was like okay to like do like those firecrackers or sparklers, and it was, so to me it was freezing outside, but we didn't care. We were just out there trying to just wait till 12. We waited till 12 to open the gifts, and we
So
got
you did midnight, not when you woke up in the morning.
no, we did regular gifts in midnight the day before Christmas
Uh-huh.
Eve, and then Santa was Christmas Day.
The morning. Wow, so you got double whammy.
Yeah, so I
Double.
got the gifts with everybody, like the regular people gifts, Christmas
Ah,
Eve, and then we did Santa gave us the next morning.
so basically you were spoiled.
Yes, very
Good for
much so.
you.
I love
Good
it.
for you.
That explains a lot.
Yes, doesn't
that
it?
explains it.
Ah, and the plot she thickens. The plot she thickens. I like those memories. They were all very good. Class, you did very well today with your
Gold stars.
yes, gold star. So now we're gonna break into little I don't know what you call them, segments. So Maria Mia, why don't you stay, and
Okay.
Diana and Sandra go away so we can diss you, okay?
Peace out, sisters.
No, we talked a little bit about you're not necessarily having a Lithuanian influence in your Christmas. We kind of already
Yes.
talked about that. So, and your memory was so beautiful. Do you have siblings?
I don't. Well, I'm an only child. I do have a half brother and a half sister. My dad was married, he previously to my mom, to another woman. But but I didn't grow up. I love them. My half brother did pass away a couple of years ago.
Oh.
But I didn't grow up with them. But I love them, but I just, it was more like I saw them maybe like once or twice a year.
Oh,
So I didn't really grow up in the same household. So I grew up as an only child. Yeah.
I was almost an only child because my brother was born
Really?
when I was 9. I was 9, so
That's a big gap.
yeah. Well,
Wow.
I was supposed to be an only child. You know how that happened? Well, that's the rumor. I don't know. My brother's going to get pissed off if he sees this, but I don't know. But that's kind of the rumor. So yeah, I understand that. But let's talk about, because of course the Christmas Latina Christmas Special is just at Christmas, and each of you have individual careers, and you've done so much. I'm going to read a couple things. Sunny in Philadelphia, Suburgatory, CSI, lots of television, but most probably you're probably best known for True TV's Tacoma FD, which is just picked up for its 4th season. That's fantastic.
Yay!
Lieutenant Salazar. Tell us about Lieutenant Salazar and about the series overall.
Absolutely. So Tacoma FD, it takes place in Tacoma, Washington, the wettest place in the nation. And so it's with these, and takes place with the firefighters. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but the Broken Lizard guys, they're the funniest guys ever. And they did Super Troopers. I'm not sure if if you've seen that or not. Super Troopers, like cult film classics, one of the classics. But I do want to say the story because it's relevant to your themes of Latino-ness. But when I initially auditioned for this role, it was an open ethnicity. So there was no, there was no specific ethnicity. And when I read it, I was like, oh my God, she's hilarious. So when I went in the casting office, there was African-American girls, there was Asian, and then there's me, and then there's, blondies, right? So I go in and I read it and I'm like, oh my God, I have to she's tough. Her name was Lieutenant McManus, right? That was the name. And so I made her Latina. I cussed out my boyfriend on the show in Spanish and I got the part.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
That's a fantastic audition story.
Yeah. So the creator of the show, he told me, oh man, you scared me. He goes, and they changed the name of the character and they told me, keep doing the Spanish stuff. We love it. We love it. We love it. So, and it's heavily improvised. So I get to improvise a lot, which is part of the magic of that show too. So it's, so when people say about, doing this, trying to, how do you get roles? Well, you create your own. Really, I created my own.
That's right.
Character.
That's right. And
So-
even though you say that even reading the script, it was hilarious, but you added a whole other level and a
Yes.
whole other texture, a whole other
Yes.
texture to her.
Yes. So, and they loved it. So they kept it. They changed the name and forever Lieutenant La Salazar. So I played the only lieutenant, or I should say even the only female police officer in Tacoma. And so it's so much fun. It is so much fun. And it just got picked up for season 4. So it's very exciting.
What kind of a shoot schedule do you have? Is it all tight within a certain, what is your
Well,
schedule?
it's been so random because of COVID, so I shot during COVID. And then they picked, some pickup scenes and stuff throughout March. So it was like January, and then I recur on the show. I'm not a series reg, but it was, like January to March. So it was very interesting, because with COVID, it was bizarre.
Oh, yeah.
Bizarre.
And scary. I mean, it was
scary.
Still, yeah.
Yes. But they're very careful. But yeah, no, it's so I feel very fortunate to be on the show with them. Very, very fortunate. And it's on HBO Max too.
Oh, and all, you have a Netflix series coming up, a limited series with Kristen Bell. That's fantastic.
Yes.
Did you already shoot it? You already shot?
I did. Yeah. So I don't even know when it's going to be airing, to be quite honest, but I just saw now they changed it. Now it's like super duper long because I guess there was Woman in the House with Amy Adams. She did something like Woman in the House also. So they had to change it. It's like the Woman in the House down the street and around the block. It was so bizarre, but it's like it's really cool. It's like a dark comedy. So it's really, really cool.
What is your character?
So I play one of the mean mommies.
Oh, that's
which
fun.
I've never played. Yes. So I've never
Well, you
played
cussed
her
out your
before.
boyfriend in Spanish. That's pretty mean.
Well, that's another show. Yeah. So that's a different show, but yes. So this one is, I played like one of the mean moms of the school. So I've never played that character before, which is very cool.
Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah.
All right. So hang in there, and we're going to bring in our next guest. Let's bring Diana in, but we'll be back, Maria. Diana, hi, mija.
Okay.
Hi.
Love you. Bye.
You're coming back though. Don't go away. Stay there.
She'll be there.
Absolutely.
Okay. So you grew up in Miami. Maria's from LA. You grew up in Miami, or as you call it, the other Cuba.
Mhm.
So
It's pronounced Miami. But there you go.
Oh, yeah, there you go. So obviously, well, I shouldn't say that the Christmas special is all humor, because there are very poignant moments in it for sure. But you've done a tremendous amount of drama television, Criminal Minds, Boston Legal, The Shield. Those are all very serious things. And how fun to be able to do the two. Not everybody can.
Yeah, well, it's not, it's actually, there was a time there where I used to look at the auditions that I would get and think, oh my gosh, I have to cry again. Like, it's just like, it's hard to cry. I mean, I really have to go to a dark place. So, you know, I'm really enjoying writing and performing in my own things. I have to say, it's a real joy for me. But yeah, I mean, I still get the checks, and that's the best part, you know?
And you do lots of your own writing. I mean, I'm looking here because you and not just for yourself, although I do want to talk about your solo show we touched on briefly, but you did Margaret Cho's Sensuous Woman,
Yes.
which not only did you write or co-write with her, but you were in it. And I think we have a photo of you with Margaret. Look at that. What
Yeah.
the hell is that? Tell
That's
us.
me. That's my character, Les.
And what does that stand for?
Les, lesbian, and Margaret and I are playing a couple there, and we did a song called "My Puss." It's a rap song that we rap to the audience. It's a little naughty, and you can watch it on YouTube anytime you want. But yeah, it was great. I co-wrote my characters because it was actually an ensemble cast, and it was kind of a variety burlesque comedy show. So we took it off Broadway, and it was a very exciting experience. And I would say it changed my life, because not only did I learn a great deal about touring and performing there, but it was kind of the thing that set me off to stand-up comedy, and then eventually writing my own one-person shows. You know, I learned a lot from the experience.
And you did a lot of stand-up as well. You did a lot of stand-up.
Yeah.
But
yeah, for a while there. I haven't done it as much lately, but I'm available if anybody wants me. I've been so focused on my other projects. So
I want to talk about Viva la Evolución, which you brought up earlier, and you did receive the Overall Excellence Award in Solo Show from the New York International Fringe Festival. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. And that was 2010, a while ago. But tell us what the evolution was.
Well, that was the one I started to tell you guys about, that I was doing stand-up comedy, and a couple people pointed out to me, one of them being Sandra, said, you know, you have something there that sounds like a one-person show. And of course, that was always on my mind, was to do a one-person show, being that I was a huge fan of one-person shows. And so coincidentally, Sandra was hosting or co-hosting or producing a show called Drama Queens of LA, where you had to do a 15-minute little sampler of your show. And she said, would you like to participate in this contest? And I said, I haven't written it yet. And she goes, all you need is 15 minutes. So I wrote 15 minutes. And then I got a call back, and I said, okay, great. So I'm doing the same 15 minutes. No, you need another 15 minutes. So I wrote another 15 minutes. And it was audience. I was selected by the audience, and I happened to win that one, and it ended up being the beginning of Viva la Evolución. That's what led to Viva la Evolución.
Well, you owe Sandra, right?
Oh, I sure do. Believe me, I've been paying her back.
What would we do without our friends?
No,
but you know, it's your viral, your videos that, I mean, I couldn't believe the numbers, viral proportions, over 15 million views on YouTube, with your like Spanish for Your Nanny and Let Me Borrow That Top. I want to know about that. That's unbelievable. Because everyone has ideas, and why don't you do with this one? But how do you get the eyeballs there? That's the trick.
Well, I wish I could take credit, full credit for those, but those were actually people that asked me to come in to play a character. I mean, I knew them through my work in stand-up and through, and sketch comedy and touring and all that stuff. So Liam Sullivan, who plays Kelly of Shoes fame, was doing a music video, and he said, I wonder if you wouldn't mind coming in and playing the aunt's lesbian lover, who is very, very Hispanic and very sweet. And he said, can you do that? And I said, sure, no problem. And I improvised the part. So, and what was funny was how, that's the one that I think has over, I don't know, 27 million views or something like that. That is the one I get recognized for the most.
Wow.
Like I've been at restaurants where people say to me, are you the woman who goes? I go,
Oh my.
yes, that's me.
Wow.
So that's interesting. And then, Spanish for Your Nanny was written by Deborah Stolberg, who is a fantastic friend, also a sketch comedy artist that I worked with before. And she said, I have this idea and I really would like it if you could do it, where you're teaching white people how Spanish, but just enough Spanish to be able to order them around and tell them what you need to do in the house. But as a Hispanic teacher, I mean, it's hilarious. The video goes on that these women are horrible. And so I start teaching them Spanish, which they're writing down, which is horrible, like, just horrible things. I mean, I don't want to say because this is a family show, but
we're having a happy Christmas.
All sorts of nasty things that are embarrassing for them to say in Spanish. Anyway, that was also, she wrote the surrounding area, but I did all the lines improvised as well. So those really took off, and it's been an interesting ride.
It's a very eclectic ride you have. And like we were talking earlier when we were checking audio and sound, you as you said, is it a blessing or a curse to be able to do so many things? Because then you're thinking that you're lacking focus, and if you did one thing, maybe that would be better. But you got to do what you do and be who you are and be that.
Exactly. That was a real challenge for me to accept, because I always felt that because I could do so many things. I mean, I'm a photographer, and I'm a graphic artist, and I illustrate, and I write. I write with my partner screenplays and plays, and I have definitely had moments where, like, oh my gosh, I can't focus on one thing. Maybe I would be successful, really big, nationally successful, if I could just focus on one thing. But that's not where the joy is. And if there's one thing, I'm old enough now, Dan, to know that you have to do what gives you joy. And what gives me joy is doing all of these things. So I just.
And sometimes you go where life takes you. I'm very much done that. All of a sudden there's something that, that looks interesting and fun. And then you do it, and then something else. And you go where life takes you as well.
Yeah. I'm very hardcore about it too. I mean, I really do try to present something very professional. And I have a animated series that I pitched to HBO. So HBO, if you're listening, I would love to do it.
Sounds good.
But,
I smell a role for Maria and Sandra. I would.
Well, I was thinking about them for it. They did a reading for me when I wrote it. It's called Super Conchita Sisters, and I had asked them. I don't think we were working on Latina Christmas Special yet, because I already knew that they were two of my favorite actors and comedians. I mean, they're both so talented. I was looking for things to put them in.
Maybe you need an old gay man too. So think of that. Too.
I'll keep that in mind.
Let's talk to our Texan. She's chomping at the bit. Hey, Loretto lady.
Okay.
Oh, look at her. See, I told you she was chomping at the bit.
I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm here.
Ready to tell me why are you in New York right now, Mija?
I am spending the holidays, pre-holidays with my partner, and then I'm going to Texas.
To your family there. I want to start our little talk with a quote, which I will read, about your stand-up from the Huffington Post. She's got chutzpah and then some. And you describe yourself as a badass. I think we have a photo of you as a badass. That's a badass. Your stand-up is quite different, I think, to most others, because it is very edgy, ¿no crees? I mean, don't you think?
It's honest. It's I am edgy. What's edgy? Like
What's edgy?
What's edgy?
What's edgy? I mean, you are edgy. You don't think you're edgy? You wanted me to describe what edgy means? What am I,
I mean,
Webster?
I guess if edgy means telling the truth and telling it like it is,
Edgy means maybe I think
and celebrating lesbian sexuality.
that's edgy to some people.
So be it. I'm edgy.
I mean, just saying those words just frightened half of America now that they're watching this, but you know.
I've also been called unapologetically authentic, which I really love.
Oh, that's a huge compliment.
That is, because I don't apologize at all for being a Latina, a woman, a lesbian. 56. I don't. It's just who I am, you know.
But were you always that, if we can call it brave, and maybe it's not brave, but maybe it is brave, were you always like that, or is that something that you developed?
I think it's developed even more. I think that it comes with age, just kind of settling in your own foundation and just being like, I'm very comfortable in my skin and who I am. And but I've always been, when I first moved to LA in 2001, it wasn't really cool to be out. I mean, it really wasn't like it is now. Like now it's like, you say my girlfriend and everyone knows it's your girlfriend. Back then it's like, oh no, you're.
Oh, of course.
2001 even. I can't even believe I'm remembering that. But so a lot of people were like, you may not want to say that I'm all like, really? Look at me. How do I mean, if comedy is telling stories about yourself, this is who I am. And so,
But the change is huge. I remember doing my show in, was it? Santa Fe, and it was being introduced by Governor Bill Richardson. And there was a party beforehand at the governor's mansion. I don't usually go to anything before it. I'm sure you don't either. You're too focused. But I thought, well, I want to see the governor's mansion. So I went, and I'm talking to him, and he couldn't be. He was like your deal, very, very accessible, very friendly. And he suddenly looks at me and he goes, "Gaytina, so now are you yourself gay?"
Like you're faking.
Right. With the thing, are you yourself gay? And
I wasn't asked, am I gay? I was always asked, are you really Latina?
That's
yes.
So the other was too obvious, or is that what you're saying? What
I
does
don't
that
have to
mean?
I don't have to come out gay, but I have to still come out Latina. And I'm not even kidding. Like when I make Mexican jokes or jokes about Mexicans, at first I was like, why aren't they laughing? And then I'm like, oh, I'm Mexican. They thought I was like making fun of like a group of people that I wasn't part of. So now I say, I'm Mexican, and then I'm gonna, yeah.
That is so bizarre that you have to come out more as that than as a lesbian. That's bizarre.
I mean, I think my combat boots give it away, but what should I wear? A
be.
serape?
And how about the tool belt? The tool belt with the boots, that's what does it. That's what puts you over the edge.
Right. I'm going to wear a sombrero and a tool belt.
We have a photo here. I want to know what it is because it looks so cool. What is that? That's fantastic.
That is San Antonio. I'm from Texas, from Laredo, and San Antonio, I mean, that is San Antonio Pride. And I'm wearing a Pride cape, a Pride flag cape. And that is all the people. That's pre-COVID. Look at that. That's beautiful.
Wow. Had you just done your stand-up for them? Is that it?
Yes. I used to, I think that was 2019 or 2018. I would always be like at the end of my set, like, let's take selfies with my big selfie stick. Yeah. And I mean, I just celebrated. I celebrate every show that I get. I don't know. And now after COVID, I'm just like, what? I'm so even grateful because every audience, and you can relate to this, every audience is different. It might be the same show, but it's not the same experience.
It's always different.
It's always different. It's always, it is this group of people experiencing this specific show. I mean, like I said, it's the same thing, but I love to capture moments. I'm the picture taker of even the Latina Christmas Special. I'm always behind with the camera, sneaking up on people and taking pictures. I think that's so important for me.
No, I love that too. I tell friends I'm really a photojournalist. That's what I call myself because you're capturing moments. I was with Dolores Huerta day before yesterday. There was an unveiling of a mural in Coachella. So I went, and I took a lot of photos, but one photo is close. I got really close to her, and she was looking up at the mural, and the expression on her face. And I thought, wow, I mean, that just captured that second of her looking at that mural, which was in particular relevant because it's on the street in Coachella, right down the street where she and Caesar had their office back in the day. Wow. And there's a park across the street. And she says, I'm smiling at that mural, but I remember being on this street when we were just having a peaceful rally and the police came with batons and tear gas for no reason. And children, all of us were running to hide from the park on this very street. I mean,
wow.
So it was that mural. So that look on her face, I can conjure up that she was going back to the change now, and where it was now, it's very Latinos are in power there politically and everything, and that she got to see that change. It's just a beautiful photo. So yeah, I'm all about capturing moments as
all about it.
Yeah.
All about it.
Let's bring back the other two stooges. And I say that as a complimentary way, by the way.
I'm molded.
Although Maria doesn't look like she did. Do we have any questions from our viewers or statements? Abelardo?
Hello there. First of all, I want to let you know, I really enjoyed this conversation with the three of you. I've learned so much about not only the Latina Christmas Special, but your own careers. And I've been, in the meantime, behind the scenes, checking out your YouTube sites. Each one of you have YouTube playlists, so I'll be posting them on the chat so that people can check them out themselves. We do have a couple comments here. Let's see, we have Kathy Chavez Morris. She says, hello, my mija, 10 years old, is in A Christmas Carol at A Noise Within. She is so excited to see Latinas on stage. So thanks, ladies. So glad. She's so glad that theaters are bringing diverse stories to the stage and supporting diverse artists.
Oh, well, thank you so much.
Thank you. We love you. And keep going, little one.
Keep going. Keep going.
Then we have Grace E. Dumaine saying, hello, Sandra.
Oh, hey, Grace.
Hi, Sandra.
And that's it. You know, a lot of people enjoyed it, but they're keeping quiet tonight.
Okay.
So I think we should all toast each other with a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, whether you're in New York or LA or Timbuktu, and to a better year for everyone as things start to open up. All right.
Ojos.
I love this. Ojo.
Ojos. Blink.
Ojos.
Blink. Salud.
Blink. Salud. Nostrovia. Chin chin.
Dan, thank you for
so
having
much.
us. What a pleasure. And, you know, we
Thank
really
you.
look up to you too. I have
Yes.
that. When you do your show again, are you ever going to do it again? We'd love to see it.
I don't know. I mean, the film is there. I want to be like those tired old movie stars that they show their films and then they just come up and answer a few questions, sit in a big comfortable chair, you know.
That's a good idea. I'm going to make a note about that.
I'm telling you, you know, it's easier, you know, it's very hard, as you know, and I'm sure you know. I mean, you play little 100-seat theaters with 2 flashlights and a sheet for a screen, and then you play the Kennedy Center, and then you play, you know, and it's exhausting. Not the show, but the schlepping and the packing and the, you know, so
it. Yeah, that's the
so
hard
it's
part.
much easier to do screenings. I'm enjoying it quite a bit.
I look forward to that day.
All right. You all have a wonderful, wonderful holiday. Here's to you, and I'll see you next year. Gracias.
We love you, Dan.
Stream it if you want to see it. Stream
Bye.
it. Latina Christmas Special.
Yes.
Love you.
Abelardo, thank you, Abelardo. You have
You're
a good
welcome.
holiday.
All right.
What a pleasure to meet
Well,
you, Abelardo.
pleasure
Thank you,
meeting too.
Abelardo.
Thank you. Hope to
Thank
see you all
you.
soon.
Gracias.
All right, well, thank you that joined us tonight and in Casa con la Plaza special holiday happy hour with Dan Guerrero and his special guests. This is it for the year. I mean, we've done I guess about 100 shows this 2021. All of them have been Not as great as this one, of course, but have been pretty nice. Our cooking demonstrations on Mondays with Jimena Martin, our happy hours with Dan every other week. He's had some fantastic guests. I'm just posting the playlist so you could check out I guess he's done about 50 happy hours since the start of last year, since May of 2020. A lot more to come next year. We're going to continue these En Casa con la Plaza specials, bringing the best of Latino history, art, and culture from our home to yours, or sometimes from my office to your home, or wherever you're able to stream this on your laptops, desktops, pads, or your phones. All of our sessions are on YouTube at La Plaza LA, on our YouTube page, on our Facebook page at La Plaza LA, and also on our website, lapca.org. I want to once again thank our sponsors, CVS Health, Aetna, Union Pacific Foundation, California Humanities, National Endowment for the Humanities, and the Institute of Museum and Library Services. I want to wish you all Feliz Navidad, happy holidays of Prospero Año Nuevo. We'll see you next year in 2022. And of course, Dan is going to be back with us. I'm not sure exactly what date or who the guests are, but check us out on our website, lapca.org, and get the calendar. As soon as they start booking the shows, you'll see them there. And subscribe to our newsletter, and you'll be the first to know what's going on at En Casa con la Plaza. So muy buenas noches a todos. And again, Merry Christmas, Feliz Navidad. Bye-bye.